So with drone shots becoming more and more popular each and every day, you may be looking for your first drone, or you may be looking to give someone their first drone. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Potensic Atom, which in my opinion is the perfect drone for beginners. This is a 4K 3-axis drone that can handle pretty much everything and has all the functionality that you want in a drone, in a mini drone at that. So let's get this video started. What's going on, everybody? This is Eddie, aka Mr. Eddie Nunez. Thank you for tuning in to another video. Today we're going to be talking about a GPS camera drone. This is the Potensic Atom. Now let me be upfront and clear with you and honest. This video might be a little longer than usual. It might be 20 to 30 minutes. And that is because I'm going to do 3 parts in this video. The first is the grand unboxing of the Potensic Atom. That's the first part. The second part is going to be taking it out to the field and testing it. I live in New York City, as you may or may not know. Those that follow me know that, and we've been getting hit with a lot of rain, especially with everything that's happening down south with all the hurricanes. So I haven't been out to test it just yet, but we're going to be doing an unboxing today first. And then third, I'm going to give you my final impressions, or first impressions rather, I should say, based on 3 flights of this drone. This is a FlyMore kit that I have here, and I'm going to go ahead and do 3 flights and then share my overall perception of this drone and impressions based on that initial flight. And then later on down the line, we'll do a follow-up. So we'll do like a 30-day follow-up on the channel. I always like to come back and look at products. We'll do a follow-up of this drone as I get more time utilizing it. But let me just start with the unboxing first. And as I said in the introduction, this drone is a great drone for anyone who's looking to start and begin flying a drone, or gift it to someone. If you're thinking about giving it to a kid or grandkid, etc., they're interested in your drones and you don't want to spend upwards of $1,000, this is a really good drone to have, because the price for this is the FlyMore kit. The price for this is $399 for the FlyMore, and the standard kit is $299. So for $299, a 4K drone with 3 axes, I think is a bargain. So let's go ahead and unbox this drone here. As you can see, we're greeted with a Potensic cardboard here. You have manuals, of course, and then let's just go ahead and take it out the box. Nothing else in the box here. So the first thing I want to share is you get a nice bag, and I'm always impressed with packaging. Packaging is something that's really important to me. So the fact that it already comes pre-packaged in this little bag for $399, again, this is the FlyMore, is already giving me a really good impression of the drone, because packaging is key. So on the top here, it looks to have a lot of accessories such as propellers and cables. We'll get to that in a second. Let's go ahead and just take out the first large item here, which appears to be the remote. So the first item that we have here is the remote, and this is a remote that's gonna go ahead and utilize your cell phone. So you have to utilize your cell phone, and it has gimbal at the bottom. There's like a gimbal storage place, and then what you have to do is just screw them on. So that's pretty neat. The gimbals screw on just like that. And then these are your antennas here. I guess they fold upwards. So the antennas fold upwards, and you got some buttons here. Let's set this to the side, and let's continue unboxing the drone. The second item here appears to be the battery, and it is the battery. So the battery is in a case similar to other competitors. It comes in a hard case here, a charging case, and it has 3 batteries. Now, I won't get into specs just yet, but what is pretty cool about this drone is that, according when I was reading to the manual and reviews, is that it charges all 3 batteries simultaneously. So when you charge here, you can charge all 3 batteries, and then you can also use this as a power bank. But we're not gonna get into specs just yet. This is an unboxing. Next here is just your charger. So this charger is gonna go in here and charge up your batteries, and again simultaneously. This here, what is this? Oh, this is a strap. So you get a strap for your carrying bag. That's always convenient, having a strap for your bag. And then finally, this is what we've been waiting for. This is the Potensic Atom. This little guy here, and this is how it is shipped. So it has what it appears to be a prop guard. Then let's take out these little plastic things here, protecting the propellers. There you go. And another cool thing I was watching, so Marcus, Idaho Quadcopter, has reviewed this drone already. He does an incredible job reviewing all types of drones, whether it's budget drones, entry line drones, top of the line drones. He has it all. He reviewed this, and one thing he noted that I thought was pretty cool, and it is in fact so, is that these drones ship with a memory card, a micro SD card. So it has, the camera probably won't get this into focus. It has 64, let me see if I can show you. Camera's gonna get me into focus here. But it has 64 gigs, a Lexar card. And this is a U3 V30 Lexar card. So 64 gigs already. Don't you wish all drone companies did that? I mean, I know some have now internal storage, but you know, I mean, shipping a drone with internal storage, I'm sorry, a micro SD card, I think is a nice touch. Then you have your gimbal guard here. And then finally, this is just a gimbal foam thing. Here is the drone itself. So there is the Potensic Atom drone, as you can see, and it comes with the 3 batteries. You pop in that battery here. You have a 4K f2.2 camera, and this little guy, I'm very excited to be using it again, because for $299 or $399 FlyMore package, you're getting a whole lot of accessories. I mean, a FlyMore kit, you're getting a remote here, and it's pretty cool. Let's go ahead. I have a mess on this desk now, but let's go ahead and look at the accessories and see what's included as part of the accessories. So you have some propellers, additional props. So props are always needed. You have a USB-C cable. So I'm assuming this USB-C cable is for the brick because it's USB-C to standard USB. What else? You have a hardware kit. So you have additional screws, which you'll need for your propellers. And then you have also the little screwdriver, the mini screwdriver. This comes in very, very handy. You have the cables. So these are the cables for the remote. So you're gonna need this for your remote. And here you have lightning cable for those guys that are still using an iPhone 10 like Billy Kyle. You have here a micro USB for those that are still in the Android world. I think about my buddy over at Koki Beach. Here is some additional propellers. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4 packs of props, 4 packs of propellers. And then you have the greatest cable of all, USB-C to USB-C. This is the one that you need for modern phones such as mine. I have an iPhone 15 Pro Max. And let's just go ahead and put this in here. Yeah, there you go. So this is how you'll fly the drone. Just like this. You might see me here because I'm monitoring my camera with the phone. But yeah. So that's pretty much the unboxing. So next in my video, again, we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna charge this up. We're gonna go ahead and go out to the field, test this out, get some video. I'll make sure that I overlay some B-roll. You probably already saw some B-roll of this drone as part of my intro. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just give you my impressions, first impressions, having used this 3 times because I'm gonna fly all 3 batteries. We're gonna talk about video quality. I'll bring my laptop with me so I can see it live on the field. We're going to fly the 3 batteries. We're gonna talk about flight time, flight characteristics. Is it smooth? Gimbal on these drones sometimes can be a hit or miss. So we're gonna see how the gimbal performs. So make sure that you check out the timestamp below so that you can see and you can navigate to the parts that you are interested in. So let's charge this up and let's go to the field and finish out this video. So I just made it to the park. This is Shirley Chisholm Park in Brooklyn. This is my go-to testing site for any new product that I receive. I'm on my Super 73 and I have the Potensic Atom mini drone here with me. And we're gonna be doing, I'm shooting the Osmo Pocket now. That's why he's doing a great job following me. But we're gonna go ahead and fly this drone here for the first time. So what I'm gonna do is just do a commentary, if you will, of my experience. If you remember, I told you I was gonna do all 3 batteries. I'm not gonna do a commentary on all 3 batteries. I will perhaps just film like the initial startup of this drone, and into the first 5 minutes, I'll do the 3 batteries here, and then we'll come back to some closing comments and remarks based on my usage and first impressions of this drone. So let's get this setup started here and go for that first initial flight. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is just set up the remote itself. So this is the Potensic remote. I'm gonna go ahead and extend the antennas, put the joysticks on, which just screws on. We're gonna need to mount the phone on here, but first we also need to get the cable. All the cables, as I mentioned as part of my unboxing, are conveniently located in your bag, and you have 3 different cables. The one I need is USB-C to USB-C, which I just found it. We're gonna go ahead and plug this right in here at the bottom. So the cable goes right here at the bottom. And then I guess the cable neatly tucks in right there. So we're gonna go ahead and put the phone in. Oh, and by the way, I already downloaded the app and I hovered it in front of my house. So you can call me cheater if you want, but before I come out to the field, just want to make sure that I don't have to do any firmware updates and stuff like that, which I didn't. All I had to do was calibrate the drone. That was Billy Kyle texting me, by the way. And he's still texting me. I'm on Do Not Disturb, so you shouldn't hear the text anymore. Just blame Billy for everything. But we got the control all set up. I'm gonna power it on. You just have to tap twice. I am gonna go to the Potensic app. Actually, let me start screen recording my screen as well. Okay, screen recording is on. We are in the Potensic app. As you may or may not be able to see here, the Osmo is doing a great job tracking me. And we're gonna continue tracking on the Osmo. I may be dragging this video way longer than I should. And if that's the case, you'll see me cutting some of these things out. But again, I'm only gonna do first 5 minutes. First 5 minutes of this experience. This is the end-to-end experience, if you will. We're gonna need a battery. It says charge to activate, which I already charged them up. It's secured. It's one of the things I always like to test, to make sure the battery is secured. And we're gonna power on the Potensic just by pressing the button here twice. You hear it power on. It's saying, do I want to trust? And all the camera settings on this drone is gonna be straight up automatic settings. There is no ND filter that you use on this, so it doesn't make any sense to lock the shutter. Today is overcasted, so that is good news. All right, my phone says enter device, and it's connected. Oh, would you look at that? There's a firmware to update. Should I update it? Let's go ahead and update the firmware. I'm definitely gonna cut this part out, although it's moving pretty fast. I'm gonna cut out this part. I'm not gonna sit here and update the firmware. So let the firmware update, and then we'll come back to this video. So one of the things I did at home in preparation for today is check to see if there was a firmware. There was not a firmware, but obviously that was a lie because there is a firmware, but things change here and there. And actually, that's a good thing that there's firmware updates. That means that there's, you know, continuous innovation happening on this drone. But I did a gimbal calibration, as I mentioned, a drone calibration, and then I dialed in my camera settings, which is I locked the white balance and I made everything auto. I also went into the safety features and I changed from metric to imperial because I'm in the United States. So I want to make sure that,
please connect the drone.
I want to make sure that I'm in miles per hour and stuff. So the drone turned off, and then you have to turn it on. And this is when we're actually gonna do our first flight. Let me bring it back over here. There's an umbrella here. Hopefully I don't hit it. I am still screen recording, so that's pretty cool. You'll get to see my screen here. Enter device. I'm connected. I don't have any GPS. While I wait for GPS, oh, I got 8 already. 8 sats locked in. I'm ready for takeoff. 97% battery. Let me just quickly check. I'm in Imperial, and I want to make sure that my return to home is at 197. Virtual fence. We don't need a virtual fence. I don't need to be kept here. No distance limit. And if signal lost, return. Video speed setting, or speed setting, video, normal, sport. Beginner mode is off. So I'm at 13 satellites. Let's press record, and this should take off here. It says make sure the battery's buckled in. I did check. Oh.
Home point refreshed.
All right. So the first thing we're gonna do, like a Marcus Idaho quadcopter video, is we're gonna do a droney. Let's go ahead and do a droney out of here. This is a Idaho quadcopter special. So it's saying when flying in a new location, calibrate the compass first. So I'm hoping this is not an indication of potential issues, because I didn't calibrate the compass. Sand and dust entering the interior of the drone may lead to accidents. So I'm assuming these are just tips that it's giving you overall. But let's go ahead and focus on this first flight here. This is a park that I love to test my drones because you don't have any issues flying here for the most part. And the drone seems very smooth overall. Like, it's actually very, very smooth. Now, this drone does not have any obstacle avoidance. So you sort of want to remember that as you fly. You know, no, there's no obstacle avoidance, so you could crash into something sideways. And I'm shooting right now 4K, as I mentioned. Everything 4K 30. My exposure meter is at 0. Everything is in auto. 90% battery life, which means that I have 27 minutes that I can fly. The first thing that I want to do immediately, so I kind of got the gist of it. This is the gimbal control, by the way, up and down. The first thing I want to do is, birds are angry at me. The first thing I want to do is see if I can make it to the pier. Hopefully not lose it. So let me sit down because Osmo's recording me. So I want to fly. I'm flying all the way to the end of the park to a pier. And I want to see, can the drone make it? There's people saying, look at the drone in Spanish in the corner, and they're pointing at the complete wrong thing. They might be pointing at a bird. So we are about 3 minutes into this flight. I'm at 87% battery. I'm at approaching 1,000 feet. I'm traveling at 13 miles per hour. So this is normal mode. This is not sports mode. There isn't a way, there's no button on the remote to toggle between sports and normal mode. I'm assuming you might have to do that through the actual menu itself. So 13 miles per hour. I am going rather slow, but this is a mini drone. If I decrease my elevation, I should probably get there a little faster. And so far, my RC connection, I'm at 2,000 feet. This is a mini drone, so again, you want to keep that in mind. You don't want to go, too far, right? You don't want to fly this thing too far out. I'm assuming this is probably a Wi-Fi signal, but I am 2,000 feet out. I'm gonna make it to the pier, it looks like, and my RC has a full connection. My RC bars on the top right here of my screen, it is full. Oh, I just lost it. Just lost, not the drone, but I lost some signal there. I'm down to 2 bars. Let's see if I can actually do a little slight orbit of the pier. And I'm at 2,500 feet away, 2,600 feet away. Signal is still strong, even though I lost 2 RCs. The signal is pretty strong. There's the pier. What I am going to be curious is to see the final product of this video. Like, how does the video look at the end? On my phone screen, there's some slight distortion, or I should say it's breaking up. One of the things I just realized is I failed to sync the audio of my Osmo Pocket to the drone because I started and stopped recording multiple times. But so 3,000 feet out, signal is no issue for this drone. And I'm going to start heading back now towards me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on just getting some really nice candid shots here. And, you know, not make this video as long that I'm probably making it. So overall, initial impressions while I'm flying, it appears to fly great. It is stable. The gimbal is smooth. I'm not getting any gimbal issues. Like, well, I'm kind of going left or right. I'm not getting any, you know, crooked horizons. Horizon seems to be pretty straight. Signal is great. Battery life seems to be phenomenal. 22 minutes remaining right now. I have a flying lantern on me. 22 minutes remaining, 74% battery. The only thing I wish this drone had is some sort of obstacle avoidance, and we'll get to that towards my impression. There is some smart features on this drone as well, like tracking. We'll try that out. But yeah, guys, let me bring this drone closer to me. Let's go for some cinematic shots, if you will. And then we'll come back to final impressions once I review this footage. So stay tuned to part 3. So we just finished flying the Potensic Atom. So this is a 3-part video, and I keep saying that because I'm gonna divide this into chapters depending on when you're clicking in. You may have missed something. So the first part was the complete unboxing of the Potensic Atom. The second part was just flying it for the first time, the first initial setup, the first initial, you know, getting this thing powered on and going through the settings. And then now we're finally at the third part, and that is my overall impression. So I went ahead and transferred the videos to my phone, and I took a look at the video quality right from my phone. But before we get into the video quality, let me just tell you what it was like flying the Potensic Atom. So this drone reminds me so much like a DJI drone. And I'm not sure, Potensic did, by the way, send me this drone. And I'm not sure if Potensic will be upset that I'm comparing it to a DJI drone, but I'm comparing it in a good way. This drone reminds me so much of that of a mini series. And this drone handled extremely well. The flight characteristics I thought was smooth. I didn't have any gimbal issues. The drone has downward facing, I don't want to call it sensors, but it can auto detect when it's going to land, either in your palm, on the floor, on the table, whatever the surface may be. The camera quality is a 4K camera with an aperture of f2.2, and we're going to get to specs towards the very end. And the battery life gives me about 20 to 30 minutes. They charge simultaneously on this charger here, which is fantastic. And the drone seems to handle pretty well with any type of wind. I'll put a slight video here of the drone just hovering and it bounces. Very similar characteristics to a DJI Mini. Now, the difference here is that you're only spending $299 for the drone itself, or $399 if you want the FlyMore package, which comes with the, docking station with 3 batteries, comes with the bag, all that cool stuff. Now, flying the drone was a pleasurable experience. I was expecting to be frustrated because I thought this is a entry line drone. There's going to be all sorts of problems, but in all reality, there wasn't. And reviewing the video footage on my phone, I didn't get a chance to bring my laptop. It wasn't charged, but just looking at it on the phone, iPhone 15 Pro Max, where the color accuracy on this is actually pretty good. The video looks really usable. The video looks good. Again, I stuttered there a little bit because this is a $299 drone, and that's the expectation that I want to set. So I want to level set with my audience here. You're not buying a flagship, micro 4/3 8K camera sensor with a variable aperture. You're buying a beginner grade drone, and that exactly is what this is. It is small. It is compact, it is portable, it folds very nicely. It fits in the palm of your hands here. You can put this in your pocket, you can leave it in the car. And whether, you're new to drones or not, you're looking to give a drone away to perhaps a child for Christmas, or, a significant other who may be interested in a drone, this is the perfect beginner drone to get you acclimated into the aerial space from a UAV. Unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV. I wanted to make sure I got that right. I truly, honestly, I'm like stumbled here. I'm lost for words because I can't find a single complaint. There's some nice things that I wish the drone had, right? I wish it had a smart RC where I don't have to plug in my phone. But guess what? That's going to impact the pricing. I wish that I was able to attach filters. Now, at the time of making these videos, I don't know if there's filters or not. Looking at the size of the sensor, I highly doubt that you can put a filter on there. But I think a filter would be pretty cool. So overall, like flight characteristics, the drone impresses me. So flight characteristics, the drone for $299 is impressive because I didn't have a negative experience. That in itself is what's truly impressive. I did not have a negative experience flying this drone at all. Like, there's not a single thing that I can complain about. Gimbal was straight, horizon was straight. Overall, it was pretty good. Now, let's get to the software. So software, it has some opportunity, and I think that's where the competitors might, be advanced when it comes to it. But from an opportunity perspective, I don't mean it in a negative way. Like, sure, can the software be a little bit more fluid, right? Switching from video to photo to video, vice versa. There's a little bit of a hesitation there. Pressing the shutter button to take a photo, there's a little bit of hesitation there as well. But the drone has some really cool features overall in the UI. So it has return to home. The return to home height automatically adjusts. So I have my height set at 200 feet. As I progressed and went further up in my testing, the drone automatically adjusted that return to home altitude. And I think that's pretty smart. The major competitors, to my knowledge, doesn't even do that at all. So I think that is pretty cool. The drone can go ahead and, obviously shoot 4K videos, and you can go from auto to full manual settings and control all of your settings manually. Same thing goes for photos. You can adjust your shutter, you can shoot RAW, you can shoot JPEG, and on the video, let me backtrack a little bit, you can adjust your shutter speed, white balance, etc. So you can make all those adjustments, which I think is pretty phenomenal. The drone also has some smart, intelligent features. So as you saw or seeing now, I was able to do sort of a pull away shot. I did a helix or an orbit around me. I did, I forget what they call it, but it's like a launch thing where it just goes up and then all of a sudden is looking down at me. And when I went into the intelligent flight modes, it immediately found me. Like it tracked onto me, it identified me, it put a cross on me. And all you have to do is just tap on that and it works. Like it really, really works, and it doesn't lose you. I've reviewed on my channel other entry line drones that do not excite me as much as this does, because again, genuinely speaking, I was expecting for disaster when it comes to the Atom drone, and I didn't find nothing that was disastrous at all. I took it 3,000 feet away. I have a visual observer here with me that always rides bikes with me. You may know who that is, but I took it 3,000 feet away all the way to the end of this park to a pier, and I didn't lose signal at all. I think this is a Wi-Fi drone. We're gonna get to specs now in just a second. I think this is a Wi-Fi drone, and I was expecting to lose signal. No signal lost. The remote is comfortable in the hands. You know, I think it's pretty good. Overall, it's okay. There's nothing really to the remote. You can control your gimbal. You have a start-stop record. You could take a photo. The gimbals work fine. You have a return to home and pause button. Remote feels great in the hands. No complaints here, and it is lightweight. And then the battery charger, you can charge 3 times. So I'm kind of going in circles here, because at the end of the day, what I do want to mention is that if you're looking to get a beginner drone or you're looking to give away a drone, the Potensic is a viable option. Like, you know, in the past, I've knocked, you know, these drones down and kind of, you know, didn't give them the benefit of the doubt, but the Potensic Atom earned its respect in my test. Now, I'm no famous YouTuber such as Original Dobo or Billy Kyle, so I have to use my phones to look at my notes when creating these videos, especially when talking about specs. It's just too much to remember, and that's a good thing. That means that this is featured pack. So this is a 4K drone with a 3-axis gimbal, as I've mentioned. The range is 6 kilometers of video transmission with visual tracking. That is the range of the drone itself. Flight time is 32 minutes per battery. This is a sub 249 gram drone. So for that being said, there is no remote ID. If you are going to use this professionally on a commercial set, you will need to add a remote ID module to this. But if you're a hobbyist, there is no need for a remote ID, and that's why it's not integrated as part of this drone. It is level 5 wind resistance, and I think it does pretty well. It does have visual tracking, which I mentioned. It does have digital zoom, which is something I didn't test out. And the picture quality overall is 12 megapixels for the photos, and the video resolution is 4K at 30 frames per second, 2.7K also at 30 frames per second, 1080p at 60 frames per second, and of course at 30 frames per second. So that's a video resolution of the Potensic Atom. Now, in terms of flight performance, this can ascend at 5 meters per second, and it can descend at 4 meters per second. The flight speed is 16 meters per second, and the max level wind resistance, and I already mentioned that, is a level 5, which means 38 kilometers per hour. It has downward vision system, and it does support a micro SD card up to 256 gigs. And this drone actually shipped with a 64 gig card as well, and not just any old cheap 64 gig card, an actual Lexar 64 gig card, or actually a really good one. I think I showed this as part of my unboxing. So bringing this video to a complete close now, the Potensic Atom, $299 for the drone itself, $399 for the FlyMore bundle. This is a phenomenal entry-level drone at a phenomenal entry-level price point. You can't go wrong with this. Before you spend an upwards of $1,000 for a competition or competitor mini drone FlyMore bundle, go ahead and check this out. If you're buying this as a gift for a significant other, they won't be disappointed as well. If it's a child, whoever it may be, as a gift, whoever receives this won't be disappointed. Like I said, I was genuinely impressed with the drone itself and the video quality. There wasn't a single bad thing that I can really say about this drone. It really exceeded my expectations at the price point when I level set, and I'm thinking about, you know, the use case scenario for this drone and the targeted intended audience. For that being said, I think it's a solid buy. So if you do want to go ahead and check out this drone, make sure that you check out the description below. I have a link there. Also, there's some coupons that you can use. If you have any questions, comments, feedback about the drone itself, make sure you leave them down in the comment section below. I'll be there answering all your questions. And if you're new to flying and you want to ask me some personalized question about this drone, go ahead and leave that there. You can also reach me on Twitter at Mr. Eddie Nunez. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, as always. And we got some exciting stuff coming into the channel, so stay tuned. I appreciate you. And let me continue flying because I'm going to charge this up and take it up again. Until next time, peace.